Hey, what's going on, fam? Welcome back. As always, I'm super excited y'all decided to tap back in with me today. If you hear some jingling in the background or some birds chirping, it's because Bandit is running around here acting like he owns the place, and I forgot to shut the window before I pressed record, so we're just gonna run with it. But today, I super excited about the guest. It is Angelica Pompy, and she's going to be talking to us today about what it really looks like to level up in business and everything that goes along with that. So I'm not even going to hold you. We're just going to go ahead and get right into it, and I will chat with you again after the episode. Welcome to the Behind the Scene pod. I am so excited to have you on here. And I really wanted to have you on to talk about this because I personally have been watching your journey, I want to say for the past maybe year and a half, and had found you on YouTube initially and was just watching about your photography journey. And then fast forward to now, I see you scaling and growing and just doing the darn thing. So I was like, yes, I need to have her on here to talk about how to scale and how to do it flawlessly, like how you have, but also just to talk about the real things that go on behind what it takes to scale and grow a business. So we're just going to dive right in.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Angelica Pompey. I'm a business coach and marketing strategist for female entrepreneurs, and I help women grow their confidence to show the fuck up for their business with money making strategies. And so, this is a newer title for me, if you will. I have been in the photography industry for over a decade, and it has been a journey, and I love every part of that journey because it has brought me to the opportunities that I have today. And so my photography business is actually still active. I actively shoot, obviously much less because I am wearing a lot of hats these days, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And being able to scale that side of the business and my education simultaneously has been really fun and giving me more free time, which is like kind of like some days I'm like twiddling my thumbs. I'm like, am I supposed to be doing something right now? I think maybe, maybe not. So, yeah, I primarily shoot boudoir here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I have a team that helps run that. And then my education side of the business, I'm primarily the face of that, but I have a whole team behind that as well.
Awesome. So take us back a little bit. Talk to us about your very first bold move in the business world. What was that like?
Very first bold move, I would say hiring my first virtual assistant. As most of us probably listening that have businesses, this thing that we created from like passion and love is like our baby, right? And it's like, we got to let someone in and like let them be our minds and like help us. Like, how do we do that? Right. And so I was very resistant against it. I was like pushing it back. But I knew if I wanted to grow more and give myself more space to do more and be more creative, I had to let go of that admin back end stuff, which didn't serve me at the end of the day. And so that was a big deal for me. And I had that very first virtual assistant, and I actually hired her around the pandemic. I was drowning. I was like, I had so many leads at that time. I was doing families, newborns, like babies are still being born. They need a photographer. And so, yeah, it was nuts. And I literally had to push pause on my business in the month of April to just recalibrate myself and get my VA onboarded. She jumped into a dumpster fire.
Wow.
She's like, whoa, like you have your systems, but your email is off the rocker. Like we can just refine and clean this up. And she came in, and I always tell people two brains are better than one. And like between the two of us, we refined my system so much so that I'm out here living my best life, getting a cocktail and like the ka-chings are coming in now. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, that's
uh,
all you want.
yeah, yeah. So I always tell people like, while hiring support is always like hard, it's probably the best thing that you can do because when you release of those tasks that are like daunting, it's a mental load, like right? Like you're like, oh, I have to do the thing versus like, oh, I get to go just shoot and like spend time with my client and like give them the best photography experience versus doing all those mundane tasks that we have to do because entrepreneurship is not easy and it comes with a lot of hats.
Ma'am, yes, it does.
Yeah. Some that we didn't even sign up for, but it's part of the job. So yeah, that was my biggest move. And that I would say of all things that I've done, that it was probably the most pivotal thing that I did in my business because it allowed me to say, okay, if I need support, let me get the right support? What does that look like? And I went into this mindset with my education business. Unlike most business owners, when they launch something, they're like, I'm going to wait and like try to bootstrap and do the things. I went right into education of like, okay, how do I need to price myself to have a virtual assistant? What do I need for support? And like,
Yeah.
I did all the crunching of the numbers beforehand. So when I launched, it was like a full-fledged oil machine. My systems were set up, everything was like up and running. So yeah, I always tell people like do it right the first time so you're not cleaning up house later.
Man, you listen, you just said like five different things, and I was like trying to take mental notes. I'm like, okay, I need to do this. I need to hire a virtual assistant. But I love it. I love what you're talking about. Those are ultimate cheat codes for real because you're right. I'm even thinking about myself for my business, and it's my baby. Like I know what I want done and I know how I want it done. And trying to let somebody into that space is scary. And then you're wondering, like, are they doing it right? Do they sound like me? Are they trying to add their own spin? Did they disappear? And it can be tough, but I love how you made that decision, you ran with it worked well, and you just kept implementing it. And from the outside looking in, I can tell that it has been a huge benefit for you because you're right. From me being on the other end, it is like a well-oiled machine. Your people don't miss a beat. So
Yeah, they don't.
I love it. So, can you share a moment where you thought you might have been leveling up and actually in hindsight it was the wrong direction?
Yeah. Oh man, I'm going to use the example of hiring help, but not knowing what kind of help you need
Mm,
and really letting the people that you hired lead. And so when I launched education, I already had like a virtual assistant that I split her time with my photography business and education and she had like her tasks. But then I was like, okay, I need help with someone to help me with funnels. I had the
mm,
idea of what I wanted, but I did not articulate to them exactly how I want it to be created. I didn't ask clarifying questions of like what are the deliverables that I was can expect, what were timelines and expectations of as far as communication. And honestly, I never worked to someone at this caliber. They call themselves integrators, so someone that's going
mm.
to come and integrate in their business, integrate in your business, create the funnels and all the back end stuff. I was like, okay, I've done this to some caliber in my photography business, but not with coaching. A coaching business is very different than like a service based business. And so I was like, I'm just going to hire the experts and do their thing. I had to sign a contract for 3 months and I flushed down $8,900 down the toilet. It was
Ooh,
painful.
much.
And I couldn't be mad, but nobody but myself. Like I had to point the finger at myself because I wasn't asking the right questions. I didn't have a clear vision of who I needed to hire. I'm like,
Wow.
I just want them to do the thing. And I'm like, but what exactly is that thing that I want them to execute? And what were my expectations? I did not once voice my expectations.
Wow.
And that was a problem. I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what to expect. You know, it's like, I'm
Yeah.
hiring you to do the thing, but it's like, oh, this is not. So, like, the funnels sounded so basic. They sounded like a chat. I'm like, this doesn't sound like me. And
No.
then, but I didn't know how to articulate, like, what is sounds like me. So I'm like, here's some examples.
Yeah.
My understanding is like they could understand it, read it, and get the gist of what I'm talking about. And it's
Yeah.
still, it was like back and forth. Like the deliverables and the graphics, it was giving basic. I feel like all of
Mm.
their clients had the same graphics. And it's like, my graphics don't look like that. So were you
Yeah.
actually paying attention to my brand? And that, although was like a painful waste of money per se, I learned so much from that experience and it got me uber clear of exactly how I wanted to create my funnels, what questions I needed to ask. I mean, I interview people. Anybody that I need to hire, I'm interviewing them because I'm like, I need to know
Yeah.
your vibe, your energy. I'm really big on energetics too. Like, you can't be like, I'm extrovert, clearly. Hi, but like,
Yep.
my energy is not for everybody, and that's okay. So, understanding like, will we vibe? Because you can be the best thing at what you do, but if we're not on the same page and energy is not there,
Not gonna
it just
work.
won't work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
but not a complete waste because I can imagine that now because you know what you're looking for, that you won't make that same mistake again.
Was like, I was telling my husband, I was like, I did my homework. I reached out to people that worked with them. The key question that I left out was, did you work with the owner directly or did you work with one of their associates?
That's good.
And that was the key because the people that I reached out to was working with the owner directly. And so it makes a difference of who you work with. And when it's more like an agency like that, you can't dictate who you work with. But I should have asked that question of like, are you working with someone on their team or directly with the owner? And ever since that experience, that's like one of the first questions I ask. Am I
Yeah.
working with you, sis, or am I working with somebody else? And who is that somebody else? Because I need to talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the clarity. That's the clarity that you got. As you think about these things, because I know that you've been in business for how many years now?
I've been officially in business since 2017, but I
Wow.
started photography in 2009.
Okay. So you spun the block a few times.
Yeah,
Okay.
a couple
Um,
times.
what's one thing that you wish that someone would have told you before you started scaling your business?
Have your systems in place.
Mm,
I like this is the biggest thing I see. I see so many business owners that are like, I want to do this thing. They sell the product, they sell the service, but like they have no sense of operational systems. It's like,
wow.
how do you want to be a successful business owner, but you're running around with your head cut off because you don't know like what order came in. There's no like no sense of organization behind the scenes. And like I see this more and more. I'm like, I meet some really dope entrepreneurs and I'm like, tell me more about your systems. They're like what? Like my invoicing? I'm like, what? You don't have a CRM? How are you managing your 25 orders at a time? They're like, notebook or this and that. And I'm like, my insides start flaming. I'm like, oh my God, let me help you, please. So yeah, that's the biggest thing is have systems in place and make sure the systems work for you.
Yeah.
So like test it out, do a test drive. A lot of these systems out there, especially specifically CRMs, they
Yeah.
have like free trials. See what works for you because not every CRM recommendation is the right one for your business. So depending if you are product based or service based, like whatever that is, there's different tools and resources out there for those specific business owners. And there's some that work better than others. And then from a user end perspective, what does that look like for your clients? And is it
Yeah.
amplifying the client experience that you want?
These are all great nuggets. These are all great nuggets. I'm going to second that. I wish somebody would have told me to get your systems in line because I want to say up until February of this year, my systems were trash. And it showed in me because I was stressed. I was like, oh my gosh, like looking for stuff, can't find
Mhm.
it. Know that I had someone reach out, can't find it. And it really hurts your business. It hurts what people perceive about you and your excellence and how you deliver service. So your girl had to get her systems in order because listen, I was like, I cannot afford to lose out on this money. So
Yes. Yes. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? It's like when you don't have systems in place, the automations of the follow-ups, like that client interaction is your next referral. So like stuff can fall through the cracks and you're leaving money on the table, like you said. I love to use this example because in my photography business, there's 22 steps of my client journey once they say yes. And
wow.
people are like, what? 22 steps? Like, what are you talking to them about? I mean, I'm giving them reminders for their session. I'm
Yeah.
giving them a prep guide. And of those 22 steps, only two of those are manual. And we're like,
Wow.
what? And like, that's a lot of time that I'm eliminating for myself where I could be doing something that serves me and serves my client better. Those two manual pieces are essential to the client experience, but everything else is automated. And I'm just, again, outside hanging out and they're getting their reminders of their session, how to prepare,
Yeah.
scheduling their planning call with me. All of that is all automated.
I love that. Yeah, automation. These automations out here, I'm like note takers, AI, like lean in. And I know we're going to be talking about that in another
Yes.
platform, but I'm excited for it. Since we're on the topic of automations and systems, what do you think is one system that you've really leaned into that has made a major difference in you being able to go from here to here?
My CRM, which is Sprout Studio. It is a CRM specifically for photographers. And what I love about that platform and what it allowed me to do is eliminate a lot of subscriptions. As a business owner, we have a gazillion subscriptions, especially
Yes.
photographers. And I'm like, why do I have my gallery here? Why am I invoicing on QuickBooks? What am I doing for contracts here? And it was like to have everything centralized in one space. In Sprout, I can send contracts. I can send invoices. I can send questionnaires. I can send their gallery. They can shop for products in their gallery. They
Yeah.
can schedule their calls. It's like the hub that I live by. It's like the Bible of my business. If that CRM goes down, I am unwell. Yeah, actually, literally every single day I go into my CRM. My CRM tells me, and that's what I love about Sprout. You can integrate it with your calendar. It shows me my calendar for the entire day of all things, not just photography sessions or anything like that. It shows me my day as a whole.
Yeah.
And I love that because I can tell in Sprout, hey, I'm at capacity when I meet X amount of hours on my time on my calendar. So it's really robust, and the client experience there, the automations actually have some AI integrated into this
Yeah.
software. And we already know where the world is going with AI. And I tell people AI shouldn't scare you. AI should excite you so you can amplify your business and your voice.
Yeah, that part. Absolutely. I know we've been talking about how you've pushed forward and built on top of your business. Was there ever a time in the past couple years where you were like, okay, I need to step back or scale back a little bit and just sit right here and look at things?
Right now,
Talk about it.
right now. For those that know me, know that I'm a mover and a shaker. Failure doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
However, sometimes we have to take a pause and a pulse and take a look at like what is serving me in this season. And I'm in a season now where I love my photography. It's a running oil machine. I mean, I have everything pretty systemized and workflows. Like I could tell you at a drop of a dime, like what's happening over there. And my education, I've been telling people I've been having fun. I'm in the playground. I'm in the sandbox. I'm trying this offer. I'm trying this thing. I'm trying that. I'm like, okay, this, I like this, but I don't like this. And I got very excited and I just did all the things. And I'm like, okay, we need to wheel it back. And, the numbers don't lie. I'm a big advocate of knowing your numbers. And so I had to wheel it back this summer. And I said, okay, what are things that serve me in this season? I love social media. However, it's a lot of work. As we
Mhm.
all know, what can I do to still be myself on social media in my coaching world, and what can be eliminated? So I started creating a ticker of like things that don't serve me, but are necessary for business. And then I'm like, okay, I have all these offers, but what is Angelica's it factor? And I'm like, So I hired a CMO, which is a chief marketing officer, to come in, and we've been ideating things of like, this is the vision, this is where I want to go. And it's always harder to do things for yourself. I literally coach on this, but doing it for yourself is hard. And I
It's
was
okay,
like,
not
I need
okay.
that. Yeah. And I was like, it's okay. And I literally share that on social media. People are like, what? Why you hired a marketing person? I'm like, because I don't want to do it myself, number one.
Yeah.
And two, we need perspective. Like that's what business is all about, is perspective. So I brought her in. It's only been a week, and it's been, I mean, the best week ever. I got so much clarity. I know who my people are. I know how I want to shift. I just feel because I'm not launching something right now, I can just pause and just be in the moment of like, okay, what are the conversations that I have? My DMs? What are the connection calls that I'm having? And I feel like because I've been on go consistently for both businesses, I haven't had time to reflect. And I think reflection is huge in business. And so in my world of business, when we typically launch something once a month. So rather it's Pompy portraits and then APE, Pompy portraits, APE. So
Oh,
I've literally been in that cycle for the last year and a half.
wow.
And everything had to come to a stop this summer. I said no to huge speaking engagements. I was like, and I was honest. I was telling them I had to tell, I was, hey, I'm taking a pause because I really want to serve people best. And I need to just refrain, figure out what I need to do here. And they were
Wow.
respectful. One girl was like, girl, you tell me when you're ready. I'm ready to have you for the next event. I was like, me? Thank you. So yeah, I'm in that season. So May, June, July, I'm like taking a pause, really reassessing like, what do I want this coaching world to look like for myself?
Yeah.
Where it's not overwhelming. I could still be present in my home and still travel and do the things that I love.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All
it's
the
hard.
nuggets. All the nuggets. I'm like just taking it in right now. You're dropping so much wisdom right now. And I know that this is really going to hit home for women in business like myself who are newer to the thing. We're just stepping into it. We're in the first couple of years, we're trying to figure it out. We're throwing spaghetti at the wall and just taping it up there. It's like, you're going to stick whether you want to or not. And what you're saying is wisdom, because it's also scary to take a step back, because for me in my mind, I'm like, well, if I take a step back, am I going to miss out on, an opportunity, or is this ever going to come by again? And it's like, if you take a step back, you'll be able to see clearly. And I think that's you're doing a great job in demonstrating that.
And I will say this too. It's like when we have to say, I need to pause, we get fearful of like not getting revenue.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in like, God will give you what you need. And like in this season of like me needing to be still and reflect on my business, on my life, and like my lifestyle, what I want for the future of my family, like being in that stillness brought so much opportunity that I didn't even have to do a ton of work for. And I was like, whoa, okay, this is my superpower. So the opportunities that I was getting, I was like, okay, this is clearer. Like, okay, this is my superpower. I love community. I'm a networker. I'm a connector. And like something keeps bringing me into that realm. And I'm letting just, again, being still and seeing what people are reaching out to me about. And again, I haven't been like promoting much of anything. And in this last week, I got so much clarity in my VIP days. Like I've been doing it behind the scenes, really
Yeah.
building. And like, oh my gosh, I was talking to one of my peers today and she's like, girl, nobody's doing a VIP day like you are. I was like, really? Me?
Yeah.
No way. And I'm like, this is something that just came from like wanting to help and pour into others. And I've just been able, because I've been still, I've been able to reflect, okay, what worked well with this VIP day beta student and what didn't. Now it's uber clear of like how I want this and how it can integrate into my life and how many I want to do a month and like just all these things. And I'm like, yo, this is wild. All I had to do is just like calm my fucking tits.
Yeah, sit down.
Sit down, sis.
If you could leave the listeners with the golden nugget, what's one blueprint worthy lesson about leveling up that you would leave them with?
My one nugget of advice would be making sure that you're doing money making activities and tasks
Mhm.
in business. I think we get so wrapped up around like the social media and the pretty websites. And it's like, no, you need to focus on getting clients. And what do you need to do to get the clients to then
Yeah.
pay to reinvest back into your business and yourself? And while those are yes to do's, they're not important to do's. And I did this activity with my coach many years ago. Is like she tasked me to make a list of all the activities and tasks that you have in business. And then in the second column, put your name next to the things that you can only do as a business owner. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And then how long does it take me to do that task? Time myself. And then if it could be outsourced, who would it go to? Is it AI, automation, a human? And then from that task, I had 167 tasks. Only 5 of them had my name next to it.
That's insane.
I was mind blown. I said, I must let all this other stuff go. And then she made me, okay, out of those 5 tasks, out of the what's left, how many of those tasks are going to generate you revenue? And it was less than 20.
Wow.
I was like, whoa. So if any of the listeners are struggling with like what are money making tasks, I have a free resource that I'll share with you so you can give them.
Yeah,
It was a game changer. And it sounds so basic, but it was an Excel spreadsheet and like ideating what each column meant and like how to use it. And I did this like task of over a month. So, and then there's a column in there. Do you do this daily, weekly, or monthly? So it gave people clarity,
wow.
gave me clarity on like what I need to be doing and what can be eliminated too.
That's gold. Yes, I'll take that, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will definitely make sure that's added in the show notes. But this has been so great. Thank you so much for dropping your wisdom and being so willing to share about your journey. I know for women like myself who are just getting started, we're looking for that community. We're looking for the people who get it because not
Mm-hmm.
everybody gets it. Entrepreneurship can be lonely.
Yeah.
And we all are in this for some reason or another. And
Mm-hmm.
so you just sharing about some of the challenges you face, some of the lessons that you learned, it's going to help the next person. It's already helping me. So thank you.
Yay. I'm
Um,
glad. I'm glad. I always tell people skip the hard work of trying to figuring out on your own, learn from your peers,
yeah.
invest in yourself, and like you'll just propel way faster than the person that's trying to, do the things on the hamster wheel,
But tell the people where they can find you and what you have coming up.
Yes, absolutely. You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Everywhere is Angelica Pompy, and my website as well. And yeah, send me a DM if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Angelica, I need you in my world. I would love
Yes.
to connect with you. Send me a DM. Tell me your biggest takeaway from today's episode. And I would love to connect with you all.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Angelica. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I know I'll be connecting with you soon.
Yes, thank you, Queen.
All right. Take care. Yeah, so great conversation. Angelica is the truth. She is amazing. And once again, we will be adding those details to the resource that she has in the show notes. It is my hope that as you were listening, you at least got one or two little nuggets that you can take away to implement into your own business and just in your own time thinking about what you're doing with your business. As you are considering growth, take time out to look at the data, look at the things in your business that are really moving the needle, and utilize that information to help you continue leveling up in doing the things that you really want to do. And if you really want to see change, my girl just gave you all the cheat codes to go ahead and get after it. So I am gonna wrap it up. But before I do, if you have not subscribed to this podcast yet, I don't know what you are waiting for, but I would love to invite you to like, subscribe, and share with a fellow woman in biz that you think this could be useful for as we continue to drop those cheat codes and nuggets and to just create community. So until next time, keep doing the bold and the brave and the vibrant work that you are doing. And I will see you again on the next episode. Love and peace.